Alright, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how to install OEM big brake kits on a non-M3 E36. So, although this car does look like an M3, it's got a full M3 body kit on it. It is a 325i, and with 325i's, there's a really cool trick you could do to put big brake OEM kit on. So, what I did here is I've got the front brakes off of a 2002 BMW E46 ZHP 330i, and as you can see there, those brakes are pretty massive. They're actually bigger than E36 M3 brakes. You don't have to swap the spindles, you don't have to do nothing. It's just a direct bolt on, everything fits, it's beautiful. Now the rear rotors, these are not from a 330i. With the 330i, you have to swap the trailing arm and a bunch of other stuff. These are actually from a 325i E46. I believe I used the 2000 E46. And what's different about these is actually they're a little bit larger than the standard ones. But what's cool is that these are actually vented in the rear, where the normal E36 ones are solid. So, threw those on, again, direct bolt on. I've seen people say that you have to cut this dust cover off for the rears. I didn't see that, hasn't bothered me. I paid in total 4 brake calipers, 4 brake pads and rotors. I paid about $200 for these. M3 brakes go for like $600, so all 4 corners. To get bigger and better brakes than an M3, that's a hell of a deal. Okay, so here's a little bit of a size comparison. These are the stock 325i rotors for the front, and these are the 330i ZHP rotors. As you can tell, they are a lot bigger. So that's gonna help. I can run a bigger brake pad on it. Basically bigger brakes all around, which is gonna be cool. I also have a E36 M3 master cylinder that I'm gonna swap in there, which is going to help with the added brake size. And then as you come to the rear here, these are the rears of the 325i. Like I said, there's really not a whole lot of difference in size. They're just about the same size. E46 ones are a tiny bit bigger, but what's key here is that it's vented. These ones are solid. So vented ones are going to help with heat dissipation, basically just be all around better. If you're doing this yourself and you don't want to buy all new calipers and all that, you could actually still use these calipers. You just have to get a different bracket. They use the same calipers on the E36 and the E46, but the brackets are just a tiny bit longer to account for that little bit of length difference in the rotor. I'm not sure if you can reuse the brake pads. I wouldn't. If you're doing all this work, you might as well just change the brake pads out. But like I said, extremely cheap. I only paid about 200 bucks for this all around, which this car needed new brakes anyways. So really wasn't that big of a difference in price between buying these versus buying brand new E36 brakes. So really cheap mod, really easy to do. Everything just bolted up the same, and it's going to be better than an M3. So thanks for watching, hope you found this helpful. So one thing I forgot to mention is that if you are putting these brakes on, you do have to swap to a 17-inch wheel. If you have 15 or 16-inch wheels, they won't fit, especially around the front ones. The rears, honestly, the rears you could probably use a 16 and get away with it, but definitely for the fronts you need a 17.